everybody, welcome back to another video with ElectraSoul. In this video, we're going to be talking about shadow work. If you don't know what shadow work is basically the soul work that you do on yourself in order for you to become, your highest version, basically living by your highest self. So when you do shadow work, you get rid of all of your traumas, you work through everything that's inside of you, you come over bad habits, toxic traits, things like that. You have to overcome your past, basically. This can go as far as past lives. Like, there's just so many things that happen within shadow work because you have to keep working. I'm actually going to be releasing a shadow work packet on my website soon, so once I do that, I'm going to link it down below and keep y'all updated because it's going to include the entire package on how to do shadow work. But of course here you could watch it as well. It's up to you. I just decided that it would be really nice to help people out with that because I know when I did it, I had to figure it out all by myself and it was a lot of work, but it was really good to do. I loved doing my shadow work because it made me such a better person and it made me become the ideal version of myself, basically, in which you will become too. But before we get started, let me just say that I do have a spiritual store called ElectraSoul.co in which I sell spiritual jewelry. As you could see here, 222 and other angel number jewelry because I love angel numbers. I sell angel number clothing, angel number hair clips. I sell sages, incenses, crystals. I also do spiritual readings and spiritual coaching for those who want to enhance their spiritual abilities. You could like, share, follow, comment, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Alright, now let's get started with the video. So shadow work is a very important thing to do because it's the mental, emotional, and spiritual work that you need to do in order for you to overcome everything in your life. So kind of like I said before, all these old traumas, these old mindsets, your old ways of thinking, old toxic traits, just all kinds of things about you that you would consider yourself living by the ego. So when you live by your highest self or your higher self, you're living by your soul, the 5D version of you. When you think with your ego, you're living by the 3D version of you, which is everything that's on earth. You see things from a whole different perspective. Obviously, shadow work is associated with a spiritual awakening because usually you will start your shadow work after you went through your spiritual awakening. People don't usually do the other way around because they just don't feel the need to. But once they go through the spiritual awakening, they'll see why they need to do all kinds of things in order for them to heal the parts of them that is just not working out anymore. If you've just went through your spiritual awakening and you're looking to do shadow work so that you could work through everything in your life, so that you could become the best version of yourself and attract all kinds of amazing things, I'm going to tell y'all how you can do it. The first thing you're going to do is be very patient with yourself. You have to understand that you're learning all kinds of different things about yourself. You're realizing a whole bunch of different things. You need to take it slow because if you're too hard on yourself, it's gonna come back to bite you later. You just can't go through this with an egotistical mind. This is about the soul, remember that. So once you realize that you need to take it slow and, go step by step with this process, I want you to take a notebook and write down things about yourself that you want to change. And I'm not talking about, oh, my nose is too big or whatever else. I'm talking about things inside of you that you know are toxic and that you actually want to change because it's caused a negative outcome in your life. You have to think by things that will make you a better person generally, a more in tune and aligned soul. So for example, when I was doing this, I would write down, I get attached too quickly. I expect too much. I don't open up to people. Things like that. Write down everything that you can. And if you can't think of anything right away, just give it time. Like, it's gonna start coming. As soon as you start writing, the rest is gonna start flowing. Once you get that list done, I want you to read them over and figure out where these problems stem from. So if you write down, I get overly attached to people, I want you to figure out why. What is the reason? Did somebody abandon you? Do you have abandonment issues? Is there somebody in your life that hurt you a certain way in which you can't seem to heal from in this moment? Figure out the reason and write that reason right next to it. Sometimes it can be very triggering. Some people aren't ready to do this. It's totally fine. Take your time, as many days or months or whatever as you need, but do not put off doing this because I know that sometimes we will just put things off and say that it's us being afraid of it, but in reality, we just don't want to face it. So give yourself time, but stay dedicated and motivated on the process of what you're doing. Do not stray from it. If you can't figure out why something is the way it is for you, like you can't stem the problem, that's okay. You're gonna figure it out later. As you do your meditations and things like that, a lot of stuff is gonna be coming up towards you. So now I'm gonna move into meditations. A literal necessity for shadow work are meditations, preferably guided. I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking up guided meditations for inner child, for childhood trauma, for past life trauma, past life regressions, healing abandonment issues, healing from toxic relationships. There are so many things that you can do. I chose guided meditations that were specific to my problems. So I would do a lot of inner child meditations and a lot of past life meditations because I had a lot of crap in my past life that I had to uncover and go through. And you could figure out the same thing. You got to do a past life regression in which you will be able to see everything that you're supposed to see. You're going to be able to understand why certain things in your life are the way that they are, because sometimes you haven't even been through something traumatic in a certain sense, but your past life self has, and that's your soul. So your soul remembers the trauma even though your ego doesn't. That's still something you need to work through. For those who can't visualize, which I know there are a lot of people that can't, you can search up meditations on YouTube that are guided as well. You don't have to visualize anything though. As long as you're feeling what they're saying and you're experiencing the emotions, that's all that matters. Visualizing is an extra, but it's not a necessity. So anybody could do shadow work, don't worry. Nobody is excluded. Keep in mind that once you do all these guided meditations, you're probably gonna have to do them more than once. Something that I went through when I did mine was that I would have to revisit a lot of the guided meditations I would do because I just felt like certain parts of me just weren't quite there yet. And the whole process for me took about 2 months, and this was me doing it every single day. So I had nothing to do and a whole bunch of shadow work to do. So I just sat down and I did my shadow work for every single day for 2 months. Not everybody can sit down and do their shadow work every single day. So honestly, just do it when you can, but realize that it'll probably take longer than 2 months, which is totally okay. Remember, this isn't a race. Your ego is gonna try to push you and be like, you need to hurry up and get this shit over with. Well, if your ego's still telling you that, just know that you still have a lot of shadow work to do. You have to get to that point where your soul is so comfortable with everything that you just know that whenever it's over and that's it. The end goal here is to learn. That's it. Another very important thing that you should be doing while doing your shadow work is doing cord removals. If there's anybody in your life that's ever hurt you in a traumatic way, or somebody that you just know that just shouldn't be there in your mind anymore, I highly recommend doing cord removals and doing this as many times as you need for you to finally feel like they're actually out of your life and out of your mental zone. A lot of times people cause trauma for us in which it's hard for us to forgive or to forget them, but you can definitely do it, and you could do that through cord removals and guided meditations of letting go of that person. It's very important that while you're doing your shadow work and experiencing certain emotions while doing your guided meditations, that you write down everything that you're feeling. After the first session, the second session, third, whatever, how many days that you do it, write down everything that you're feeling. Write down what you see, what you hear, what you feel, whatever it is. Write it down and record it, because all of these things are what's going to help you notice your progress. You're going to see where you're stuck, where you finally let things go. The key here is to be on track with everything that you're doing. Cry through the trauma, cry through what you see. Honestly, as long as you're feeling something, just know that you're healing from it. So if you're doing a guided meditation and you keep shaking and crying, this is something that people should definitely know when purging out your traumas. It's completely normal for you to experience this. Let your body do the healing. Your body knows what it needs to heal, and so you're just enabling it to do so. Cry it out, shake it out, whatever it is that you want to do. React however it is, because that is the way that your body is going to heal what you went through. And as long as you're crying, just know that you are healing. And once you stop crying, know that you've healed. If you feel like you need to take a break because it's just too much for you to handle at one time, go ahead and do that. Like I said earlier, take as many breaks as you need, but do not stray away from doing your shadow work, because like I said, it can be a very easy excuse to use, but you gotta do it. If you really want to live by your highest self and you really want to let go and change as a person completely, you gotta do your shadow work. One of the final things that I think is very important to know while you're doing your shadow work is that you have to look back and realize how you're feeling. So say for example something happened to you when you were a child, right? And you've done your shadow work and you think that you're done. I want you to think about that thing that happened to you and see how you feel. If you still feel like there's something inside of you that really hurts and it's just like painful to think about and you're still angry, you got to keep doing your shadow work. revisit that. You got to keep going through it until you don't feel anything, or at least until you feel free from that situation. The key to shadow work is to realize that we have to accept everything that's happened to us, because everything that's happened to us was that so that we can grow as souls. It's not because God hates us. It's not because the universe is cruel and we deserve to be punished. That's not it at all. It's because your soul needs to grow. And the things that you chose to happen to you, which is why we sign soul contracts before we come to earth, was so that you can grow. That's the only thing. Everything that you've been through, you can get through. No matter how big or how bad it was, believe me when I say that you will get through every single thing that's ever happened to you. That's exactly why shadow work exists, because we are capable, but it's up to your willpower and your mental state for you to push yourself and to actually do it. Do not be afraid of the outcome. You are meant to live in your highest version. We are not meant to die with an egotistical state of mind. We are meant to live by our soul, thinking solely with our souls. We are all divine people. You can do anything that you want to do. And so through your shadow work, be extremely patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Understand why these things had to happen. Work through it day by day. Do not rush yourself. It's not a competition. Understand that you will know that you're over it when you can mentally revisit whatever it is that happened to you, and you do not feel the same as you did when you first began your shadow work. Remember to keep writing. Write down everything that you feel, everything that happened to you, why you want to change. Notice the progress. Write down your progress. Today I feel better. Today things are different. Today I can think about it and it doesn't hurt the same. Keep going like that. Start working on your self-love. Obviously, through shadow work is all about self-love. So do guided meditations regarding your self-love. Something that I did as well was subliminals. I would go to sleep listening to subliminals that would tell me you are worthy, you are loved, things like that. Listen to subliminals that will help you let go of your past. I am no longer attached to that situation. I am a different person now. I am growing. Search up subliminals and guided meditations and do the work. Okay, this is all about you. Nobody else is gonna push you to that level. Nobody else is gonna heal you. You are the one that's gonna heal you. So do the work. Do not be lazy. Do not be scared. Just fucking do it, and you're going to see how much better you are in the end. You're going to experience relationships, friendships, life in a whole different light. You are going to be so happy, and it's gonna be very amazing. All right, y'all. That's it for my video. Shadow work is a pain in the ass, but it is the most amazing pain in the ass, because it is the pain that is going to get your ass moving. It's gonna help you grow to all kinds of different levels. Just know that your potential never ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. God bless. Peace.